Welcome back. What we're going to talk about today is getting at some of the availability and some of the user features of the Smartboard outside of the notebook program. Now, we can do this with all ink-aware applications. And the way to determine whether or not an application is ink-aware or whether you have your ink-aware settings done properly, you need to go all the way down to your Smart Tools control panel. So select the icon from your system tray and go to Control Panel. Once there, we need to go to Configure Smart Tools and just have a look at the ink-aware program settings. Now, I have all of these programs checked, so I can use ink-aware in all of these. And I can also have a look at my ink layer. I can adjust settings, I can have them open, I can do anything with them. So there's my settings all set up. I now have open a Word document. Now, we just saw that I was able to use ink in my Word documents. This is just a sheet on common factors for my grade 10 class. Let's have a look at the first question. We need to find a factor. We need to factor these by finding a common factor. What we need to do is find something in common and take it out from each term. So we've got 4r plus 7. There is no common factor. Notice how, as I worked with that, my ink-aware tools came up. Watch what happens when I hit the button. That automatically saves that as an image directly into my writing. So no common factor there. Now watch what happens if I pick up and I try and factor another situation like this, 3x plus 6x. Rather than hitting the plus ink button, I'm going to try the plus text button. So we'll try this. We'll see if it picks up my messy writing. So I've done that, and I'm going to try and add that in as text. Notice how it inserted the text all the way up here. Not only did it not insert the correct text, but it inserted it where the cursor was flashing. What I needed to do was I needed to move my cursor back to where it was. To get rid of this problem, I could go back to my computer and I could grab the keyboard, or I could use the keyboard from the system tray. So I'll press the button. Instantaneously, my keyboard will pop up. I'll move it so I can see how much space I'm erasing. Put my cursor back where I need it. And hit the eraser button a few times. Oh, I went one too far. There we go. So now, let's try that again. This one had no common factor. I'm going to write this down. I've got my cursor right there. I'm going to write no common factor. And I'm going to insert it as text. Instantly it shows up as a correct response. I can also add drawings in. So if to pick it up, I can actually just insert, using a different Aware tool, as just an ink layer. It'll insert it as a picture into that specific spot. So for this question, there is a common factor, and it is 6g. What remains is 2 minus g. So I'll close that off, bring my ink-aware tools back, and I'll insert it as an image. Now that's saved as an image within that Word file. If I select it, I can move it around, I can spin it, I can manipulate it by changing the handles from any one side, I can resize, and I can reposition it. So those are just two uses of the ink layers and the ink-aware settings of these applications. We can also write whenever we have a spot. You see this little pen thing come up. Well, if I wanted to change this question so that 23t and 7t actually had a common factor, I can click and open the pen. Then just pick up any pen from the tray. I'm going to delete forward. I want to make this 210t minus 7t, so that way there is a common factor. So I'll write 10. you'll see that it allows me to verify down in the corner that this is what I want to write. So I'll select 10. I'm okay with that text. Also, it will give me a number of different options if I wasn't sure what I wanted. As you get better at working with the Smartboard, your writing will become a lot more neat and it will be easier to use the ink layers. But I'm happy with 10. I've clicked it. I'm going to insert it. And look what shows up. 210t, exactly as I had wanted. So now this question can be factored with the common factor. And the common factor was 7t, 30 minus 1. Now I could chance it. I could try and insert it as text, but remember, I don't know where my cursor is, so I'm going to insert it as a picture instead. There we go. Not so bad, eh? Using the Smartboard to manipulate your way around a Word document, taking up a test, perhaps even editing an English essay right up on the screen live. There's a lot of different ways that you could use this technology without jumping into the notebook.